like at a party or whatever, it was to sing songs. It's like you have a few drinks, you have a chat, and you sing a few songs, and it was the way I was brought up, and it was pretty deadly. Yeah, I love it.
In the last few years, probably, you know, if we got to meet up, and it's nice to sort of have a little sing song. When I was at home growing up, I never really would. I suppose I was that awkward teenage years where I couldn't think of anything worse than, you know, have a session with my mum and dad.
Occasionally, I mean, there's plenty of times we sing together, but it would be kind of more for our own pleasure, or maybe a little benefit gig or something like that. Yeah.
Music was a big part of our life growing up. We were just sort of, I suppose, when we were born, we were all just brought up around it. It was a very natural part of our upbringing, and I suppose going into other people's homes or having my friends come over, like we're singing songs and stuff, was sort of like, this is weird, but for me it was just normal. But yeah, it definitely influenced the way I went in my life. I started gigging when I was about 16, like doing little stuff with my cousin Owen, and I went to college and sort of left it alone for a while, just writing songs and not really gigging that much. It wasn't until I finished college that I really thought, like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, this is the time to do it. You're only young once, sort of thing. So I sort of went hell for leather with it, and had a group of people around me who I was writing songs with, and eventually went over to France and recorded an album in Black Box over there. Amazing, yeah. There I going, and you've my plan is to be a musician for as long as I can be. My goal is to sing and play my music for as long as I can, and sort of be able to support myself with that, whether it's mega money or not, you know. I was very self-conscious about writing and didn't think I was a good writer, so I sort of leaned on a lot of other people. But as I've got older, and I've become a better writer, I hope, as I've got older, but I still think that writing with other people brings out the best in me. Maybe not for some other writers, they write better alone, but in my own mind I'm thinking, oh, this is really crap, and someone else might say, yeah, it's great. So I'm good to have that person to buzz off, and when I'm stuck in a rut, they can help me get out of it, or add an idea that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise, you know. So whereas Danny more so writes with the band, he's doing more co-writes now, but I don't know, co-writes are the way forward, I think.
I remember when we first started working on this album, we recorded a batch of songs in Dingle, and I thought they were good, and I sent them to Roisin, and she sort of told me, you know, in certain terms that, you know, we could do better. And when we went and finished the album then in London, none of those songs from Dingle made it. I think one, Silence Scares Me Now, was the only song. So she was proven right.
But time makes you bolder, and children get older, and I'm getting older too.
I definitely think Roisin probably had a harder route than me, say, in that, you know, I was a singer in a band and we were very different, where she's, as I say, a vocalist, female vocalist, you know, with folky elements, so people would probably make more of a comparison between her and my mom, you know. So
I think we would have similar styles. I don't think, like, as much as our music, both me and Danny's music, is different to my mom's music, we can't help but be influenced by it, you know, and be influenced by the genre that they listened to when we were growing up. Like, so in terms of styles and the way we perform, in my mind, we're the three of us are in separate genres, and like, so there is different ways of performing. Obviously Danny's playing huge stadium stuff and is going crowd surfing and all this mad stuff, but like, I don't know, I don't really watch myself on stage, so it's hard to say, but I think we definitely have some mannerisms that are similar. Like, none of us are amazing dancers, but we all have a bit of a bop anyway. You know?
Bring you down, and if you see reflection in the snow covered hills. Maybe the landslide will bring you down.
We started the band really when we were kids. Myself and Noxie knew each other our whole lives, and our parents were best friends growing up. So we actually met when we were like babies and sort of grew up together. But we didn't really start playing music together until we were about maybe 13. Yeah, we just started jamming around, playing some songs and playing with different people in school, and we sort of started taking it a bit more seriously, I suppose, when we got to around first year of college. So that was when it started taking a step up, and we, signed to Tree Records here and started releasing music, and it sort of just went from there, When you do get a little break or a bit of luck, you have to be ready to work, and I think we did, the first album when we got with San Diego Song, got a bit of play, like we did the most work we've probably ever done in that first year, where we were just gigging like twice a day even, like, and we played at college in the afternoon, we played somewhere else, and we really just built up a fan base from doing that, and there was enough people to come see us because San Diego Song was getting a little bit of play, and we really kicked on from that. Like,
we always said when we started the band, if we got to 30 without having to get a real job, we'd be happy.
Yeah, we're almost there.
We're almost there.
I think the songwriting is all, from me anyway, has always been very honest. My lyrics will be very honest about what's going on in my life. It's always been that way, and I think with the first album anyway, a lot of the times I'd bring the songs sort of more or less finished and the lads would write their parts, but with the more recent albums, it's been much more collaborative. We've all sort of been in a room working on things, and then myself and Dave will finish off the lyrics later on. Like, but yeah, as teams go, it's always been about like friendships or relationships or different things.
What can I say to convince you to stay? Do you know me? Yeah, you know what I can do. But did you agree? And let me believe. But ships took an oath, roll away all the rest of the bullshit that we spoke. I'm sorry I can't let this go. 2 days was all I asked. Will you wait till you see me before you do something that we could never get over? You're all to respond, please don't be cruel.
We made little goals, sort of. We used to say things like, "Oh my God, it'd be so amazing if we got to play at Oxygen." And then when that happened, then we were like, "Oh, it would be so good to play the main stage." And then when that happened, the things changed. Now we're like, "Oh, it'd be so good to headline it one day," So it's nice that the goalposts changed like that, and we never were like, when we were kids, going, we're going to take over the world.
Danny says world domination.
I think I wouldn't say nervous is the right word, excited, sort of. I suppose we don't know which way it's going to go. There's that sort of uncertainty maybe. There's different levels of how great it can go. Like, we just want to be able to tour and continue to build on it and get our live scene going and continue to improve. And
People still come to the gigs.
exactly, yeah, as long as we're still able to do it until when we're 40, never mind 30.
Cheers. Thanks, boys.
Will you give your warmest of warm welcomes, please, to Miss Mary Black?
Thank you.
I didn't really realise when I was growing up that, you know, it was never a big deal that my mum was, you know, had was doing collaborations with people, or even like meeting the US president whenever she did that on one Paddy's Day, like, it was sort of like, yeah, right, like, because, you know, that sort of stuff. She met Bill, yeah.
I remember going to like friends I'd make on holiday going, my mom's very black. Like, because it was a big deal. Like, I was very sort of proud child.
in their breasts, so black-headed against the sky.
Well, the Bill Clinton one was amazing. I was just told that Song for Ireland would be playing when he arrived at the cavalcade. Came around the corner past Trinity College and around into College Green, and the crowds were all there behind me, and I'm singing just with a piano, you know. I suppose it's only at the time you're going through the motions, and I was very proud to be there and singing the song, but it's only afterwards it kind of means almost something more. Music was a huge part of my upbringing. I mean, I would have been singing with my brothers and sisters, say, in my teens, especially my two older brothers now, because they would have played music, played guitar, and we'd play around the folk clubs of Dublin and wherever we could, really, and it was for fun. It was only when I got into my 20s that things began to happen. We had this idea that we might make a compilation album of Irish artists, and it was looking more and more like women, and there was a girl in my band at the time, Eleanor McAvoy. She was singing her own songs. She was a singer-songwriter as well, but she hadn't really recorded anything, so no one knew any of her songs or her own songs. And A Woman's Heart was one of the songs she was singing backstage one night, and I thought, that's a great song, I love that song. And when it came to this album being pulled together, she wasn't well known, you know, everyone else was well known. And I said, well, maybe if I sing the song, do a duet with Eleanor on the album, and we call the album Woman's Heart. So, I mean, little did we think at that time that it was going to become the success it did be. I mean, it was probably one of the biggest selling albums of all time in Ireland.
Her heart is so low. It's only a woman's heart can be.
Well, there was a few pieces of advice I gave them.
You know, my mum always said to me from an early age to write my own songs. I think that's probably one of the best piece of advice she gave me.
She does give me some tips. Some of the way, sometimes won't like something, the way I sing something, so I don't like the way you do that.
It's great to be able to hang out with them now as adults and go to see them play. That's a real buzz for me. I get more of a buzz out of that than going on stage myself, you know.
I think we took her advice whenever she said, and even coming to a gig, she's always quite honest, you know.
Oh, brutally honest.
Yeah.
I have a good pair of ears, and now sometimes they wouldn't like it if I said something that, you know, that was critical, but I try to be constructive in my criticism.
My mum, after a gig, she'll tell you, no, couldn't hear that. You need to not play that song there.
It'd be very rare now, but in the earlier days when I felt that they could do with a bit of advice, I would give it, and sometimes it would be welcome and sometimes it wouldn't.
Heaven has its way, and heaven has its way, when all will harmonise and not see.
Obviously, I'm very proud of her. I think she's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think my mum's been very proud. She's had a great career and she's enjoyed it.
I mean, I'm not completely retired, which makes it that little bit easier, because I think that would be a very tough decision for me. I feel life, you know, being on the road has taken its toll a little bit, and I just feel I'd like to be able to enjoy doing other things. And I have 2 beautiful granddaughters now. I want to be around to see them grow up, take time out and have fun, you know. I've worked for long enough.